Good morning, I'm Gretchen Hall. We're coming to you live at this 10th day of July. It is a Thursday, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matters. Get to the stories that matter today. The U.S. has increased tariffs on Philippine goods. The rate has been raised to 20% though, up from the 17% announced last April. In response to rising concerns over gambling, PAGCOR is launching a new support initiative. The agency will operate a 24/7 counseling hotline to provide immediate assistance to individuals struggling with gaming addiction. And as some senators welcome the possible entry of Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino into the majority, the Duterte bloc has separately committed its support for Senate President Chis Escudero. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda, U.S. President Donald Trump has set a 20% tariff on Philippine goods, higher than the 17% rate previously announced in April. The new rate, set to take effect on August 1, was revealed in a letter sent to the Philippine government, along with 5 other countries. Now, this is part of Washington's push to finalize new trade deals as Trump revisits tariff policies initially floated earlier this year. The move marks a significant increase from the 10% base tariff imposed on most trading partners. Some House lawmakers agree with a new survey showing that nearly half of Filipinos believe the Senate is deliberately delaying Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. Here is the report.
It's been 5 months since the House of Representatives transmitted the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte to the Senate. But so far, no pretrial has taken place. A new social weather station survey shows that 44% of 1,200 respondents believe the Senate is deliberately delaying the trial. Several congressmen agree, saying the Senate is just dribbling the ball on the impeachment case.
Malinaw na malinaw po na talaga nagkakaroon ng delay kung ano-anong mga invented technicalities at invented issues ang ginagawa nila.
Kahit anong gawin ng Senado na hindi sumusunod sa utos ng saligang batas ay lumalabag sa ating konstitusyon.
Ramdam na ramdam yung delay. Inaasahan ng taong bayan ang Senado gagawin ng trabaho pero hanggang ngayon, nga pa rin.
Beyond the delay, the same survey finds that 42% of Filipinos oppose the impeachment of Vice President Duterte. That's why the VP says the complaint should be dismissed.
It's a pure political persecution at harassment. Dapat bang ibasura? Tingnan ng mga senator judges yung mga arguments namin.
But House prosecutors strongly disagree.
Kung may ebidensya, that is a legitimate prosecution. As far as we are concerned, we have ample and strong evidence supporting the 7 articles of impeachment.
The Senate is expected to convene as an impeachment court on July 29 when the 20th Congress opens session.
Former Trade Undersecretary Ruth Castelo has been named as the newest spokesperson of the Office of the Vice President. In her first press briefing, Castelo said the OVP will no longer request confidential funds for next year. She said it is now up to the Budget Department whether or not to allocate confidential funds for their office. When asked if the Vice President had specific instructions, Castelo said she was told to be straightforward and not be an attack dog. She is the third to be appointed as OVP spokesperson, succeeding POA and attorney Reynold Munsayak.
I'm here as spokesperson for the Office of the Vice President. I am not here to sling any mud to anyone. And my marching order actually from the Vice President is to be forthright in the message that I will need to convey. And these are the accomplishments and the projects, the programs, and what exactly is the Office of the Vice President doing.
Meanwhile, Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office Chairman and former Regional Trial Court Judge Felix Reyes has denied claims that he was involved in fixing cases for businessman Atong Ang. Now, this follows accusations made by whistleblower Julie Patidongan, also known as Totoy. Reyes challenged Patidongan to name any specific case involving Ang or the missing sabongeros that he allegedly influenced. He added that he is open to the Bureau of Immigration releasing his travel records since his retirement from the judiciary in October of 2021. The PCSO chief questioned the timing of the claim, pointing out that it surfaced just a day after he filed his application to become the next ombudsman. Now, despite the controversy, Reyes said he is fully prepared to cooperate with any official investigation to clear his name of what he called baseless accusations. A group of lawmakers has filed a bill seeking to raise national awareness on the Philippines' claims over the West Philippine Sea. House Bill 1625 requires all schools to legally mandate teaching the 2016 arbitral ruling and the legal basis of the Philippine jurisdiction over the West Philippine Sea to elementary and high school students. Now, according to Akbayan Party List, the measure aims to counter pro-China propaganda and educate the youth about the country's sovereignty. The group stressed the need to arm young Filipinos with facts amid China's continued expansive claims in the West Philippine Sea. Now, the West Philippine Sea bloc is composed of Representatives Shel Jokno, Percy Sendanya, Dada Ismula, Laila De Lima, Kaka Bagao, and Crisel Lagman Luistro. And coming right up, PAGCOR is launching a 24/7 counseling hotline for gaming addiction. All that and more when Morning Matters returns. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. The Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR, plans to launch a 24/7 counseling hotline to assist individuals struggling with online gaming addiction. PAGCOR Chairman Alejandro Tenco said the agency is currently in discussions with a partner foundation to finalize the setup of the hotline. Now, the hotline will be manned by trained counselors who can offer immediate support to distressed players and those showing signs of addiction. Tenco said the move is part of PAGCOR's broader efforts to promote responsible gaming or gambling amid the rapid growth of online gambling platforms in the country. And to further discuss this initiative and other related issues, we have PAGCOR Chairman Alejandro Tenco. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, good morning, Gretchen, and good morning to all those who are listening to your program.
Okay,
Hello.
Chairman, yesterday we had
Yeah.
Attorney Kyoge on the show. She is, of course, a gaming lawyer, and she has worked with several of the processes of PAGCOR. She called for smart regulation of the online gambling industry instead of course, a total ban, which you also called for. But I want to know what exactly do we have now as a legal framework for these online gambling platforms?
Well, Gretchen, let's start off with the basics. No? Hello.
Yes, yes, sir. We can hear you.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're coming in and out. Um, we have the very. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have the very. Let's start from the basic requirements. Number one, we have what you call a strict KYC, where when you register, when one registers, the first thing that we look at is age, no, because the requirement of PAGCOR is for one to be at least 21 years old for you to be able to register and to be able to play a game. You will have to be 21 years old. Hello.
Yes, Paul. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Number two, of course, you will have to follow all the operator follows all the rules and regulations of PAGCOR, starting from the fact that games that one operator offers should pass through a third-party laboratory testing, just to make sure that all games are fair and within the months of all the requirements. In fact, these testing laboratories are based outside the Philippines and are used by all gaming operators worldwide. The top is based in Las Vegas, and the second one is based in Macau. So these are the official things that you have to have as a basic thing. No? Number three, an operator is not allowed to sublease his his license. That is very basic, because we try to control as much as possible the use of one's license. There have been instances in the past that licenses would be used by other companies. We have new set of rules that we have implemented the last 2 months, wherein no licensee can sublease his license. So those are the basics. And then, of course, we have a regular monitoring of all these companies, where our monitoring team visits all the website, all the companies operating, and checks what if these companies are following the rules and regulations that we have set. So these are the basic rules and regulations and structure that we have been using in the last 2 to 3 years.
And this is unique to the online gambling framework, or is it
Yes,
across
yes.
all of the?
We have. Well, the age, 21-year minimum age is not only
Correct.
for online gaming but also for land-based casinos that we regulate. No.
Good.
So, but what I had mentioned are basic things that we implement for online gaming.
Okay. Chairman, si Attorney Kyogi also called for the crackdown on illegal gaming sites.
Yes.
And parang it was she cited, I mean, such alarm over these the proliferation of these gambling sites. So how would we know if a site is illegal? And I guess where is PAGCOR? I mean, we do see live streamers promoting these illegal gaming sites. At madalas po yung marami po sila, no? Talagang matagal sila tapos maglalabas po yung mga links and then marami po naloloko through that. I mean, why has PAGCOR not cracked down on these illegal gaming sites?
Well, first of all, I do not want to use what you mentioned that PAGCOR has not cracked down on these illegal sites. No, I just want you to know in the last 2 years, we have monitored close to 11,000 illegal websites. I just want to explain further that the problem of the industry today is not the regulated online gamers or online companies, but the illegals that have been proliferating all these years, no? And the sad part, Gretchen, these companies are based abroad, targeting Filipino customers. So, through what you call a seal, we call it now the PAGCOR guarantee, which one can see in our website, all a customer has to do is go to pagcor.ph, and there they will see a banner called PAGCOR Guarantee, named PAGCOR Guarantee. They will just have to click on it, and there you will be redirected to a page where all our license fees can be seen. And then from there, you press whoever licensee you want to play with or who one is registered with, and then you are directed to the said online gaming site. Now, with what you had mentioned, what PAGCOR has done, I just want to backtrack and say that in the last 2 to 3 years, we have identified 11,000, more or less, illegal websites. And of that, through the help of DICT and the NTC, together with the PNP Cybercrime Group and the NBI, we have brought down 76% of the 11,000, or closely about 8,000 illegal sites. Unfortunately, Gretchen, because this is internet-based, it is very difficult to
run after
cancel
them.
or
Yes.
to stop, to run after them in one blow. So that really is the main problem that we are trying to address with all our best efforts.
Chairman, how many legal online gambling sites are there currently licensed with PAGCOR?
More or less, we have license 70. And I want to emphasize also that since last year, we have a moratorium, and we have not issued a new license except for those who have filed their applications prior to the moratorium.
So ngayon po ay nakatigil po yan, yung pagbibigay ng bagong license?
Yes, Gretchen, nakatigil ito.
Review.
So, yes, pending review.
Chairman, because the contention of many, including PAGCOR, is that this industry is bringing a lot of revenue to the Philippine government, even more than the brick-and-mortar casino. So how much po ang natatanggap ng Philippine government from these online gambling companies, the 70 that you mentioned?
In 2024, Gretchen, we generated, and I want to make this clear, only revenue coming from online gaming only, close to 50 billion pesos. And just to give you an idea, as of June 30 of this year, we have already generated more or less about 28 billion pesos.
Okay, that's for the first half of the year of 2025.
First half of 2025, yes, Gretchen.
Ito pong 50 billion, ito po ay mula sa franchise tax? Tama po ba?
No, that is what you call license fees. Meron po tayong sinisingil na 30% of the gross gaming revenue. So ang amount nun ay about 50 billion pesos in 2024.
This is from the gross
License
gaming
fees.
revenue. License
yes,
fees.
gross gaming revenue. What happens, Gretchen, we base our license fees from gross gaming revenues, no? So PAGCOR collects more or less 30% of the gross gaming revenue of these companies.
Is it correct that they are exempted from paying income tax and VAT?
No, they are not. In fact, I was going to say, aside from the fees that we collected, all these companies, online gaming companies, are paying income taxes to the BIR. I know of one, I do not want to name, who paid billions also of pesos in corporate income tax.
VAT po.
And I can, if you will just allow me, I just want to emphasize that automatic, Gretchen, 50% of the revenue being generated is remitted right away to the National Treasury of the Philippines. 50% yun. And from that 50%, Gretchen, I'm just talking of online gaming. Another thing that maybe not many people know is that we are one company that subsidizes the PhilHealth, yung ating PhilHealth, yung benefit ng mga Filipinos, no? We subsidize from the 50%, so we're talking of 25 million. So about in 2024, under the Universal Healthcare Act, mga 12.5 billion po ang na-subsidize ng PAGCOR sa ating PhilHealth benefits.
Kasama rin po, do these companies pay VAT along with those income taxes?
Meron po silang, meron po silang 5% franchise tax po in lieu of other taxes, yun po ang batas. So automatic, they pay also 5% of their gross revenue. This is what we call the franchise tax. So yun po automatic, in lieu of other taxes, magbabayad po sila ng 5%. And in the end, from their gross revenue, after deducting all their expenses, magbabayad po sila ng corporate income tax sa BIR.
So uulitin ko lang po, no? So the 5% franchise tax, and then after that would be the license fees?
Yes, which is 30% of their gross gaming revenue.
After franchise taxes? Yes.
Yes, and then pagkatapos, Gretchen, sa huli, yes, after deducting their expenses, just like any corporation in the Philippines, they pay corporate income tax
Pwede
to
po
the
malaman,
Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Yeah, pwede po malaman which law can we find ito pong taxation structure for the online gambling websites, particularly the licensing fees, because we do see Presidential Decree 1869 that only talked about the 5% franchise tax plus yung 50% of the government share going to social services. Pero saan po kaya yung income taxes and yung licensing fees?
Yung pong income tax, sapagkat siya po isang korporasyon, sa corporation code po yun, kailangan magbayad ang lahat ng korporasyon ng income tax. So that is very basic. Ngayon yung you're asking about the 30%, it is not a law, it is a PAGCOR guideline, no? Or part of the PAGCOR structure is that if you have an online gaming license, you have to pay 30% of your GGR or gross gaming revenue to PAGCOR. And then ang PAGCOR po ang nagre-remit, Gretchen, sa National Treasury.
Okay. You called for tighter regulation here for this whole industry. What do you think would that look like? Because the alarming concern here is how it has become so open to many vulnerable sectors, including children. How about detection while using all of these mobile apps? Paano po makakasiguro na 21 years old sila? And also when it comes to the minimum and maximum bets placed, kayo po ba ay sang-ayon sa paglalagay po ng mga limits pagdating po doon?
Well, ang isang magandang bill na na-file na aking nabasa ay yung kay Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. He is calling for tighter regulation and the imposition of a minimum bet and a minimum deposit. I believe that that is one enhancement that we can look at and study so that we can also have customers or gamers that we know who can afford to play, no? So by setting minimum limits on deposits and bets, we will be able to weed out the small income earning customers or gamblers who would want to play, no? So I am for that, and I have instructed our team to study what will be the best minimum bet and the best amount for deposits, no, the minimum. So, yan, pwede yan. Ngayon, with your question, how can we ensure that one is 21 years old? That, Gretchen, is very clear in our structure. And because of KYC, yung tinatawag na Know Your Customer, clearly, nobody who is 21 years and below can play, no? So once you register, you have to submit all your government ID.
Correct.
So that is, and then with that, hindi makapaglaro yung bata. Kaya what I'm saying, Gretchen, our real menace or our real problem is the illegal, the RD, illegal operators. Because with them, wala pong KYC eh. Kaya yung problemang sinasabi nga all over na nakapaglalaro yung bata, dumpo yun sa mga illegal sites. I know.
Are you looking at
this?
Go ahead.
So what I just want to say is, I know sometimes nalulusutan tayo ng mga fake IDs. Nalulusutan tayo ng mga documents na nagpapakitang 21 years old ka na pero hindi pala. But I think very clear, hindi po ganun kadami yon. Ang talagang proliferation ng mga hindi sumusunod ay talagang nagmumula sa illegal online gaming operators.
Chairman, bilang panghuli po, kasi we don't have a lot of time, but I'd love to have you back.
Salamat.
Pagdating po dito sa mga endorsers, and advertising, kasi nakakagulat nga raw po na yung ibang mga ads kailangan pa dumaan ng rigorous process sa Ads and Standards Council. But this one po, yung mga advertising po related to the gambling companies, all fall under the PAGCOR's jurisdiction. Tama po ba?
Well, hindi nga eh. Ang totoo, wala kaming jurisdiction sa advertising. Pero what I want to inform everybody now, on the 16th of July, PAGCOR will be signing a memorandum of understanding with the Ad Standards Council. Alam mo, Gretchen, I was not aware of this. Months ago when we started talking to the ASC, kaya dyan makikita mo proactive ang PAGCOR. When we all noticed that all these massive billboards were just mushrooming all over Metro Manila and our tollways, ako mismo na-alarma na. So we got in touch with the Ad Standards Council and quietly we were working on regulation. Kaya pag pimirma po tayo on July 16, Ad Standards Council has told us that they will make now gaming or gambling, the gaming industry, part of their industries na imo-monitor nila. Apparently, there are 5, no? There is alcohol, there is tobacco, there is milk, and there are 2 more. And the decision of the ASC, because of PAGCOR's concern, is to now include as the 6th industry, yung gambling, gaming, as an industry that they will monitor. So pretty soon, Gretchen, you
Correct.
will notice mawawala na lahat yung malalaking billboard na yan. ASC will standardize the size.
All right.
They will make sure that it will not be within a few hundred meters away from the churches or place of worship, schools, and hospitals. And then, hindi na po pwede yung napakalaking mga billboard na nakikita natin halos kasing lalaki na ng mga building.
Building, oo.
So,
Chairman, will it
yes,
still be
so,
called
yes,
online
Gretchen.
gaming? Will it still be called online gaming o papalitan na po to gambling, online gambling?
Hindi, online gaming lang. Online gaming.
Online
Wala
gaming. So
namang
hindi po
diferensya
totoo
yan,
na
pero-
nagbago ng pangalan.
Hindi. Online gaming.
Alright, okay, sige.
Hindi magbabago, Gretchen.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I'm so sorry. We have a lot more to discuss, but in the meantime, yun po muna. Maraming salamat. PAGCOR Chairman Alejandro
Maraming
Tenco for
salamat.
joining us today. And when we return, Senator J.V. Ejercito will join us here in the studio to provide context on the most pressing issues, including Senate leadership, online gambling regulation, and his priority bills in the 20th Congress. Stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Owen here at Morning Matters. We talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind the headlines. Some senators are welcoming the possibility that Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino might join the Senate Majority Bloc. The full story in this report.
Senator Bato de la Rosa supports Cheese Escudero staying on as Senate President for the 20th Congress. According to Senator de la Rosa, part of the group they called the Duterte Seven, who have committed to support Escudero are Senators Bongo, Robin Padilla, Rodante Marcoleta, Amy Marcos, and Mark and Camille Villar. De la Rosa could not confirm whether all of them have signed the circulating resolution, but he said he himself has already signed it. He also clarified that Escudero did not offer or promise him any committee position in exchange for his support. De la Rosa added that he did not request for any committee either, as he is still chairing the Committee on Public Order after winning a second term. He said this is also not about the possible impeachment of his ally, Vice President Sara Duterte.
His stand towards impeachment is not a factor to our decision in choosing him as our Senate President. Ang pinaka-big factor dyan na nakikita ko lang talaga is yung pagka-open niya. Nakikinig siya. Lahat ng sides pinapakinggan niya. So yun ang nagustuhan namin na liderato.
While there is the Duterte Seven, there are also talks that Senators Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan might join the majority bloc. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, De La Rosa said he is open to them joining the Senate Majority Bloc, even joking that they're even kinder than him.
Wala man akong problema. Hindi naman mga masasamang tao yan sila. Mas mabait pa ngayon sa akin, mas masama pa siguro ako sa kanila. Wala naman tayong problema dyan.
Should it happen, Senator Bongo said he has no problem being in the same majority bloc as Aquino and Pangilinan.
Hindi naman porket magkaiba kayo ng partido ay magkasalungat na yung mga prioridad ninyo. Tandaan natin dito, interes ng bayan, interes ng Pilipino ang dapat nating unahin kung kahit anong partido po tayo.
Their campaign ally, Senator Risa Hontiveros, said she's not hurt by this possibility. According to her, each senator has the right to make their own decisions.
Hindi ako na-hurt dahil yun na nga sabi ko nga, basta patuloy akong maninindigan. Kung ang bawat isa sa amin ay may sariling diskarte, ako rin naman po, mananatili akong independent senator.
Aside from the Duterte bloc, the so-called siblings bloc in the Senate has also expressed support for the Senate presidency of Cheese Escudero, and that includes Senator J.B. Ejercito, who joins us now here in the studio. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Hi, good morning, Gretchen.
Welcome
nice
back.
to be here. Nice to see you.
Oo nga
Not on the racetrack.
Okay, tell us more about these alignments happening in the Senate. Siguro kayo po muna, no? Majority na po kayo. I mean, you are the deputy majority leader now.
Yes. I'm part of the leadership right now, no, under Senate President Cheese Escudero. I'm at present the deputy majority leader. So I mentioned before in interviews that in case there will be, I'm really torn. No, I'm also very close to former Senate President Tito Soto, who was my Senate President when I was able to pass 2 landmark legislations. No? Yan yung universal healthcare and creation of Department of Human Settlement. So, I really owe it a lot to him. He really pushed me at that time. And he is also my party mate. But at the same time, as mentioned, I'm part of the leadership now of Senate President Jesus Escudero. And it's just proper and probably courtesy that, you know, I'll be one of the last in case there will be alignments to leave him. In the same manner, Gretchen, that when former Senate President Mig Zubiri was replaced, I did not leave him until the last minute. I stuck it out with him. So I gave it to Senate President Jesus Escudero for giving me the trust and confidence. So I will not also abandon him just like that.
Kahit po, part kayo ng seatmates group.
Well, unfortunately, we are on opposite sides right now, no. But I had a talk with former Senate President Senator Mig Zubiri recently that this is just politics, no, and we may be on different sides at present, but our friendship. I call him brother. I will never forget yung what we have gone through in the past.
Okay, marami po nagtataka, bakit po kaya magma-majority sina Bam Aquino at saka si Kiko Pangilinan? Do you have any insight to that? I mean, syempre, sa labas, sa mata ng publiko, di ba? We see party lines. We see galing ito sa Liberal Party o kaya sa Independent Party, may Duterte Bloc. Pero, I mean, sa loob ng Senado, do all of those things matter? At the end of the day, paano nagdedesisyon itong mga senador kung saan sila aanim?
I think that's the character of the Senate, Gretchen. No? It's more often that we cross party lines because we are elected. Probably it's because we are elected nationally, so we are more sensitive. And more often than not, as I mentioned, with regards to issues, stand on certain positions, we respect each other. So, in fact, I always talk to our minority leader, our deputy minority leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros, who's one very vocal and very active. I talk to her, I'm very happy that, we often cross party lines, colorblind tayo when it comes to supporting each other on vital measures or issues that that would affect. Like, for example, yung universal healthcare, which I sponsored. Even though she was minority leader, she was very, very supportive. And until now, of any measure or any things that is connected to healthcare.
So usually it boils down to how am I going to get my bills passed?
Yes.
And committee chairmanships, kasama na po yun?
Well, committee chairmanships, I would say, but this time around in the choice of the Senate President, we are holding. I'm an incumbent, so I'm just holding on to my present committee and my present position. But it's true that sometimes when it comes to passage of certain measures or yung mga pet bills, you have to have good relationships with others. It doesn't matter if it's minority or the majority. In fact, I really appreciate, Gretchen, that Senator Coco Pimentel, our majority leader, and Senator Risa Ontiveros, every time I defend a bill, that they would really stand up and scrutinize because it improves. I think it improves, refines the measure. I don't look at it as big obstructionist, but I think it refines and improves
Sina-challenge lamang kayo sa debate. Di ba?
Yes. And as they say, Gretchen, intelligent solutions and the answers are born out of healthy debates. And that's why I miss Senator Franklin Drilon so much. He's one of the most diligent minority leaders. And yung pong pinapasok ko yung Universal Healthcare, Department of Housing, I have to really prepare because he really comes prepared. And I think recently, Senator Coco Pimentel and Senator Risa Ontiveros, although there are only two, really played to that role also.
Ang impeachment po ba, malaking impluwensya dito sa mga formation na to?
I don't think so. I think it's really more of yung trust and confidence in the leadership. Right now, Senate President Chis Cudera, I would say, has about 15. In my estimates, I am not sure.
Okay.
About 15 at least supporting.
Votes.
Yeah, supporting.
Former Senate President Tito Soto, 4.
That's the block right now, yes.
Si Senator Ping Lacson, Senator Mig Zubiri,
Senator Loren, at saka si Senate President Tito Soto. Yes.
That is it for now. Okay, mamaya natin pag-uusapan yung impeachment. Puntahan po muna natin yung several key issues that we talked about. One of which was with Chairman Altenco, yung online gambling. You called for a resolution investigating this.
Yes.
What data are you looking for?
Well, of course, we want to see how when we start the hearings, no, how many families already, we right now we don't have this data at present. I have to admit, no, but it's been very prevalent, and we've been hearing a lot of things already, Gretchen, that a lot of people are already really getting addicted, no, and as I mentioned also in interviews, that this is, I think, worse than Pogo, because at least in Pogo, if remove the crimes related to it, at least yung
Hindi tayo biktima.
hindi tayo
ibang
biktima, yung kinukuha natin pera
nationality.
from overseas, no?
Kasi offshore gaming.
Yes, it's
nga.
offshore
Oo.
gaming. But this time around, with the online gaming at present, we're victimizing ordinary Filipinos. And ang worry ko, Gretchen, not only ordinary Filipinos, yung mga workers, employees, no, na yung hand to mouth na lang tataya pala, but also the youth are it's so easy, no, with the use of the phone. Ang inaano ko kasi rito it's very easy, very convenient, especially ma-e-wallet apps, no, GCash, Paymaya, and others. It's so easy, 2 steps, 3 steps, you'll be able to access already the gaming applications. So napakadali, no? So I think we can start from there. We have to discourage that
To decouple the
yes,
gambling sites from the
parang
e-wallet
enablers
apps.
sila eh. They're
Oo.
enablers of online gaming applications right
Okay.
now.
Pero isa po sa mga problema ngayon na binanggit nga po ng PAGCOR, ito nga pong mga illegal gaming websites, no,
Yeah.
na parang nasa 11,000 daw. Pero
Wow,
yun nga
that's,
lang, most of them or a lot of them are foreign companies who are targeting Filipino customers. I mean, ano po kaya yung maaaring gawin dito to be able to strengthen
Well,
enforcement?
I think we really have to strengthen and give support to our cybercrime units, no? NBI has PNP, the ICT on how we can curb online gaming operations, especially mga illegal, that what Chairman Altenco mentioned, that this is also alarming kasi kung talagang foreign entity sila, parang in reverse, no? Dati we're hosting the Pogos, earning from foreign
Oo nga,
capital,
no?
ngayon
Oo
baliktad.
nga.
Tapos they're trying to victimize Filipinos. And as I mentioned also in my recent interviews, we have to find ways on how we will be able to regulate. If not, in case talagang we have to weigh, no, the social consequences. I was listening to Chairman Tenco kasi sayang din yung revenues that PAGCOR is generating. But you have to weigh the social consequences, Gretchen. If it's the cost of broken families.
Are you open to a total ban?
That's why I would want to hear and get data, just in case we will have the hearing, on how many families are already victimized, no, or addicted to
But
it.
you're open to it?
I'm
The
open to it.
possibility?
Yes, yes.
Okay. When it comes to having a total ban, tama ho ba that it could be done by the president? So, I mean, like, he has the power over it. Pag sinabi niyang tigil niya yan, pwedeng tumigil na. He doesn't need any law for now to enforce that.
I would think so. Siguro
As
a
a
mere
executive
order, no? If it's really a menace already, becoming a menace to society, I think being the chief executive, being the most powerful man in the land, I think he can do it, no? So that we can further stop addiction and further social deterioration as caused by addiction to gambling.
But a law will be required to make this last more than one administration. Yun po
Yes.
yung purpose nung
Yeah.
pagle-legislate po natin. O,
Yes,
yun nga lang,
that is correct.
medyo, I mean, this is huge money we're talking about, and I'm sure there's
Well,
lots of lobbying
Yeah.
when it comes to this.
Well, it's really, you would say tempting if you're in government, that because of the revenues that is being raised through PAGCOR, through the online gaming services. Sayang din ako, I'll be biased kasi doon sa Universal Healthcare, which I sponsor and author.
Yun ang funder.
Funder is PAGCOR,
Oo.
PCSO.
Oo.
But again, you really have to weigh things, Gretchen. You have to, Sabi ko nga, paano yung social consequences? We cannot afford people having lives that spiral, go downhill, destroy their families. There are other revenue sources. No? Like, for example, this time in my priority measures, I filed a bill, supplemental budget for PhilHealth. Yung pong nawala last time, I'm trying to, I filed a bill for supplemental budget of about 70 billion to restore it so that it can help PhilHealth improve. No? So,
Saan po kaya kukuha ng pera kung hindi po sa PAGCOR?
there are a lot of other, we can make cuts in other, during budget season, we can make cuts in other programs and projects, but
this is for the next budget season?
just for the next budget season, yes.
Okay. Ano po yung nababanggit po ninyo na nawala? I mean, kasi...
Well, naging controversial yan, di
yung
ba?
Zero. Yung zero.
Yeah.
Oo.
That's why
why did you file a supplemental budget?
Well,
What did
so
that take away when that was made zero?
Well, yung mga premium contributions of indirect contributors, ito po yung mga PWD, senior citizens, and others, sayang din, but it's about 50 billion. Then 20 billion for the benefit packages. No? Ito po yung open heart surgery and kidney transplant and a lot other packages. So hopefully we can restore it. At least restore the trust and confidence in PhilHealth.
Pero yun nga po ang argument nung DOH. Actually, sila mismo nagsabi. No? They're trying to discipline PhilHealth because meron naman silang excess funds. Hindi po ba pwedeng doon manggaling yun? Or, I mean, bakit nga po ba nagkaroon ng... I mean, what led to that problem in the first place?
Because if you understand budgeting, we usually legislators look at some budgets or programs that there are budgets that are not being used, yung pong so-called park. So pag hindi yan ginagamit, for example, for the year 2023, 2024, talagang kukunin yan and it will be used elsewhere where it will be used for priority programs. So that's what happened with PhilHealth na some legislators thought that they have a very big reserve. Actually, because ito brought about by the pandemic kasi wala masyado operations on tuloy-tuloy contributions, lumaki yung reserve fund ng PhilHealth. And during the last administration of PhilHealth, what happened was tinitipid nila yung mga members because all Filipinos are now considered as members. No? Pag, for example, Gretchen, may mga hospital, for example, 100,000 ang bill, PhilHealth will only will only cover about 5,000, 7,000 pesos. So it would hardly put a dent. No? Parang hindi mo man mararamdaman. Sabihin nila, but that's a case rate. And I don't think that's an excuse. I'm the author of Universal Healthcare and our aim is really to lower the out-of-pocket expense of every Filipino. They should have adjusted the case rates long before. And I think what we need to do now is to increase the participation of PhilHealth. Hindi sila...
And how are you planning to do that? Are you planning to file another bill when it comes to the benefits? Or could it be just pushing PhilHealth to do more of its job?
The Universal Healthcare Law is already a law, no? So I'm calling for, I'm proposing for the convening of the Oversight Committee on the implementation because this is already the 5th year of implementation. It was signed 2019, implemented 2020. It's a 10-year program actually, no? And we want to check or look at the flaws, the weaknesses, so we can make the necessary adjustments. And Gretchen, I'm hoping that in the next 2 to 3 years, I would want PhilHealth to increase its participation in every medical bills. Dapat naman maramdaman ito ng tao.
Ilang percent po kaya yung ideal? Kasi sa ibang bansa, parang actually kinukover nila lahat talaga eh.
Yes.
Di ba, pumunta sa hospital, libre.
Yes.
But in the Philippines, what is the realistic percentage coverage ng PhilHealth?
I have to admit, we are still far from it. No? But if in at least 30%, no, 40-50%, if it can be covered by PhilHealth, that would mean a lot already. That would lessen the out-of-pocket expense. But yung pong mga indirect contributors that I mentioned, yung PWDs, senior citizens, and indigents, ang target po natin talaga rito is zero balance billing, meaning
Oo,
they don't
wala
have to
talaga
pay
magbabayad.
anything because
Oo.
wala naman talaga silang capacity to pay. So target natin for those, for that sector is really zero balance billing.
Is it possible to parang put it into law that the PhilHealth should cover this much percentage? Or
Well, that's-
masyadong mabigat yon financially?
Well, that is why we are
Going to review.
I would want to convene the oversight committee 5 years after its implementation because the former PhilHealth administration, sabi ko nga, parang they treated themselves as a private corporation, tinitipid nila yung participation. And then, they will be proud of their reserve funds, of their savings. Hindi tayo private corporation. We are a public corporation.
Totoo.
Dapat yan ginagamit.
Hindi financial institution po.
Yes.
Oo.
And I think they can only say that they are successful if almost all the people are satisfied, that in case they're hospitalized, kung 1,000 man yung kanilang bill, if, PhilHealth answered 30% or even 50%.
Different success
that will
metrics
be, yes.
probably would be needed. Like,
Yes.
magkano na shoulder nyo, ilang pasyenteng natulungan, gaano karaming nasaklawan ng coverage na yon. Okay, Senator, I wanted to talk about the impeachment because when you resume the 20th Congress, it will be first on the agenda.
Yeah.
There are worries that it could ultimately just lead to a dismissal. Tama po ba na when you go back into session, pag-uusapan po yung answer ad cautelam ng Vice Presidente at you will vote on the motion to dismiss?
Well, actually, as a center judges, I as much as possible, we do not want to comment. But, we will just be rest assured that, this is regardless of our personal position on the matter, it's a process, no? It's a constitutional duty that we have to go through it. So, it depends kung if the Supreme Court, I understand there's a pending case already in the Supreme Court. We will discuss it when we resume.
Kaya nga ho, kasi baka magtagal, no? Kapag pinag-usapan dito sa Senado, yung jurisdictional and constitutional issues.
Yes.
Are you in favor of a trial happening and those issues discussed within
Well,
the
I just want
context of a
to
trial?
also clarify, Gretchen, because I think I was misunderstood, that, one of my advocacies is infrastructure development. Matagal ko na tinutulak yan, yung railways, everything, because that would stimulate economic growth. And I would think that, the early political bickering that happened, maada pa aga sana kung last year, o yung 2027. So, I really envy our ASEAN neighbors, not only Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, even Vietnam has really overtaken us already by leaps and bounds.
So, you're not in favor of a trial? Because
no.
ma-delay itong mga infra?
No,
Tama ba?
what I'm saying is that, although I get frustrated, but we have to go through it. It's our constitution. We are duty bound.
To have a trial?
To have a trial.
To have a trial.
But I'm hoping that, it will be swift, fast, so that we can go back to work already and give attention to the other pressing problems. As I mentioned, we have a lot of catching up to do. When we look at foreign investments, I think we're just getting half of what Vietnam is getting right now. So, marami tayong habulin I think in terms of infra development, we're about 35 years behind our ASEAN neighbors. So, ang dami natin kailangan gawin.
Hindi
so,
po ba meron naman parang naka-earmark na pondo na para dun sa mga critical infrastructure katulad ng subway system po natin?
Yeah.
What would you like to add to the agenda when it comes to infrastructure?
Actually, nilaban po natin yan because naging controversial din yan because the priority programs and the foreign assisted projects in the past budget napunta sa program funds. So
unprogrammed?
Yeah, dapat yan, priority and foreign assist, dapat nasa priority. So, I fought for that and kaya nga I signed the budget last year because yung nilaban natin, napunta rin. In the budget, win some, lose some You're happy with the one, it doesn't mean that you are happy with everything. Tulad nung nga sa PhilHealth. Ako, personally, syempre, being the sponsor, I was not happy with that. Kaya nga, I'm hoping that we can rectify by subok na po yung pag-file ko ng supplemental budget, so at least we can restore what was taken last budget season.
So you have 3 years in your term
Yeah.
left. That's
I'm
why
hoping that
also...
in the next 2-3 years, at least if we can at least improve the participation of PhilHealth in every medical bills. And that's one of the reasons that I really wanted to go back in the Senate, no? That, I'm hoping that, I can oversee the implementation of universal healthcare, that finally it can be felt by the ordinary Filipino.
So public health po kayo.
Yes.
Committee. Okay. Maraming salamat, Senator J.V. Ejercito, for sharing with us your plans for the upcoming 20th Congress and for spending some time with us here today. Pwede na po kayo mag-ride muli. Pagkatapos ito. Thank you very much for being with us here on this show. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Hall, your One News, all sides, all the time.